All of the evidence which the Commonwealth used to convict Lisa Lambert of first-degree murder was either perjured, altered, or fabricated.
So, just some background on Lisa. She grew up in Lancaster, oldest of 4 children.
I was born at Fort Dix, New Jersey, where my father was stationed in the Air Force, and I grew up in Amish country, Pennsylvania.
The 3 co-defendants in the case were Lisa Michelle Lambert, Tabitha Buck, and Lawrence Youngkin.
Lisa met Lawrence Youngkin in 1989 when she was 16 years old.
He did such things to her as to change her name from Lisa to Michelle within 4 days, I think. It was a very short time that he initially hits her.
The crime took place in December 1991. She was 6 months pregnant with Lawrence's baby.
Youngkin, Tabitha Buck, and Lisa were going over to Lori Sho's house for a prank to cut her hair. And when Lisa and Tabitha and Youngkin went upstairs, Tabitha started to attack Lori. Youngkin joined in, and Lisa wanted no part of it and left and waited for them on the staircase. They found Youngkin and Tabitha Buck's initials written in blood on Lori Sho's wall, indicating that she had basically told them who had committed the crime.
You know, when Hazel Show, Lori's mother, came back to the condo, she asked her who did this to you, and according to Mrs. Show, Lori hoarsely responded, Michelle did it.
Evidence of Lori Sho's dying declaration was pivotal in the case against Lisa. The prosecution's theory was that Lisa had this long-standing animus against Lori Show, and what happened in that apartment was an intentional murder. Lisa Michelle Lambert was ultimately convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole.
In late 1996, Lisa hand-wrote a habeas petition, and it landed on the desk of Judge Stuart Dalzell, kind of a conservative, no-nonsense judge.
After an evidentiary hearing, Judge Dalzell declared Lisa Michelle Lambert innocent and ordered her released immediately. The first piece of evidence that Judge Dalzell relied on was the scientific impossibility of the dying declaration from Lori Show.
With the cut in the throat, the sounds would have escaped at the level of the throat, and they wouldn't have been able to be modified by the tongue or the other speech articulators. She would not have been able to formulate the phrase, Michelle did it.
The second piece of evidence that Judge Dalzell focused on in finding Lisa innocent was a document called the 29 Questions. While in custody, Lisa Lambert had been exchanging letters with Lawrence Youngkin, and there were 29 questions asked and answered where Youngkin confessed to the crime. Question 29, Lisa, should I still cover up that you helped Tabby kill Lori? Are you absolutely sure? Youngkin, yes, I'm positive.
The other factor that played heavily in this and was not played up enough in the trial is the motive. Youngkin was being charged with statutory rape, and it makes sense that he would want the victim, who was Lori Silk, removed.
And the third piece of evidence was the wild extent of prosecutorial misconduct in her case.
What really grabbed me the most was the prosecutorial misconduct. I thought that was just horrendous and unconscionable.
Going from the editing and altering of video evidence and audio evidence to purposefully destroying evidence that would have been helpful to Lisa's case.
I thought that was really significant that a federal judge would review this case in such detail and conclude not only that it wasn't a fair trial, but that she was factually innocent.
I remember the first thing was being able to breathe in the sights and sounds of real life. My cousin Pat bought me a flowy dark green outfit, and when my daughter saw me in it, she said, "Mama Lisa, you look gorgeous." And I was at the piano singing with my dad. He was actually playing a song called Fraulein.
You are my pretty Fräulein.
You know, at the same time, you know, hanging over her head was the possibility that her freedom would be short-lived.
Our reversal was not based upon the evidence or upon any factual presentation or factual finding.
Didn't undo any of Judge Dalzell's findings of Lisa's innocence.
I've never quite seen anything like it.
After the Third Circuit's decision reversing Lisa's habeas petition, Lisa was ordered back into custody for the rest of her life.
I thought I was having a nightmare. I woke up in the cell with a bright light in my face.
It was just this white, filthy cell made out of cinder blocks.
And I kept thinking that I was going to wake up, but I didn't.
The disparate treatment of the defendants is really telling, right? I mean, Lawrence Youngkin ended up literally serving 12 years for his involvement in this murder. Tabitha Buck, she ended up doing, I think, 28, and she's out, right? Whereas Lisa has no chance of parole under her current sentence, and she's already been locked up for 33.
And it's such a waste to have her in there, not using all her talents.
When you look at what she's accomplished, it's pretty impressive. I mean, she got a college degree back in 2011, and since then she's continued to improve herself academically. She's won awards. She's a poet.
I feel so grateful and so blessed that I was able to obtain an education of that caliber.
She trains therapy dogs. She has done very positive things. She has been very protective of her own child. Don't forget she was pregnant at the time this all came down.
I want to be there for her and be there in her life and try to make up for all the time that I've lost with her.
My mother has always been so wonderfully supportive of me. When I went to prison, she wrote to me every single day until I was released.
At night, I look to the moon and wish for a better life for you. I loved talking with you yesterday. Know that I love you and care so much about you. Love, Mom. I don't care how many hours I have to work. I want to make sure that both of my parents are loved and cared for at home, and that they don't ever have to go to a nursing home. I hope that one day I'll be able to taste freedom again. I have hope where I'll be able to see my daughter and my mother and my father and my friends and everyone that has stood by me.
If the governor doesn't act, Lisa Lambert's going to die in prison, and that could be 20, 30 years from now.